Tim, I gotta say, this is the first time I've ever done a recording like in an arena, like a proper sportscaster. Like
Yeah.
this really feels like we should be talking.
No, I feel like it as well with the proper headset.
Yeah, we should be.
It's my first time too.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
we should be commenting on how the last play went.
Exactly. I think the Pacers are probably winning, given that we're here in Indianapolis right now. But in all seriousness, I'm excited to talk to you about Xerox Ventures and what you look for at an event like this. But first, we got to start it off manufacturing happy hour style. If we were having a drink, or if you're having a drink with someone, how do you describe what Xerox Ventures does?
Yeah, well, Xerox Ventures, we are the venture arm of Xerox Holdings, $250 million fund to be deployed over the next 5 years, stage agnostic. I think our sweet spot is probably early stage, I would say, seed stage, Series A. We do have a strategy to do Series B, Series C. Those will probably be a little more opportunistic, but early stage, follow on, mainly looking not so much to lead at this moment, but to truly be value add. We call ourselves strategic, but in the sense that if we can add strategic value and significant strategic value to a startup, then it's strategic. We'll figure out everything else out later, but we are, to that end, returns-driven, a returns-driven fund focused on several different areas. I would say 3 main areas of focus. The first one we would call connected work. Think about Industry 4.0 themes, advanced manufacturing, IoT, robotics automation, business automation, software and hardware, both. The second category we call it empowered businesses. So those are software enablements. Think cybersecurity and fintech. Those are more closely related to our IT services business and fintech business. And then the third category is green enterprises. We do think that the future of good business is also sustainable and responsible. So we'll be backing companies that are empowering businesses to do so.
So a good range. I have to ask, what do you define as strategic value? Because I can think of what value is, but what would you say is strategic value?
That's a really good question. I think it ranges. It depends on the company, right? It depends on what the company needs from a company like Xerox. And I remind people that, Xerox is more than just printers and copiers. Xerox does a ton of stuff that people aren't aware of. And
such as, because I don't, when I think of Xerox, I think of printers and copiers. So if you can go into just like the quick hit list of other things, that would be
just
super
really
helpful.
quickly, IT services, financial equipment, financing, cybersecurity solutions for customers large and small, whether that be the federal government or an SMB in the middle of Indiana. You also then layer on Park Research and XRCC, our materials research group in Canada. We have a lot of deep tech capability and scientific advancement capabilities, whether that be on electrochemistry or AI, ML, capabilities, modeling, simulation modeling, physics modeling. Those are all things that we have. So if it's a company that's working on a deep tech solution for the energy transition, we may have the right know-how and scale-up capability to help you bring those solutions to scale and to market in time. Maybe you're a software company that's looking for a go-to-market, right? We have 90% of the Fortune 500 and 220,000 SMBs in our customer base. We want to open up those channels to our companies that we invest in. So when we say we want to be value add, we do a lot of work internally to grease those skids. So we say we want to bring this value to the table. We want to bring it to bear. We like to think that we've done a lot to do that, and so far we've been true to our promise.
So before that, you covered sustainability, the 3 areas that you focus in. When you come to an event like OnRamp, and there are a lot of very early stage companies, when you're here, what are you looking for to get out of an event like this?
Yeah, I think oftentimes we come to these events and it's kind of a big mixed bag, right? And I mean that in a really good way, right? And oftentimes, we come in and we have a concept of what we're looking for in a particular segment, and then we learn something new. We encounter a startup or founder that's working on something that's completely orthogonal to some of the theses that we've been working on internally. And we really benefit from that. We may not end up investing in that company, but our minds are open or broadened, and maybe we do shift our direction, or maybe we do tweak our investment theses in a little bit. But what's really valuable is the happenstance conversations that we have, whether they be pseudo arranged one-on-one through some sort of conference app, or just in the hallway, right? And I really love that because ventures, innovation, it's a it's a relatively low hit rate to find something that actually sticks.
Mm-hmm.
But you need enough of those encounters to end up with something that does kind of end up succeeding. So I do enjoy that. Coming in here, we may have a couple things where we're very, we got to a point where like, for this particular segment of manufacturing,
Mm-hmm.
we would be looking for, an animal shaped like this, right?
Yeah.
But oftentimes that may be tweaked, or maybe we're introduced to a completely new idea that we want to pursue.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, Tim, I appreciate you jumping on the show.
Yeah.
And for everyone out there, back to Pacers basketball.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks a bunch.